Today, we're going to talk about lead gen. I know based on the responses of the last 2 days that you care a lot about lead gen. And in the description below, there are links to the previous 2 days shows where the first day we talked about cold calling. Believe me, you want to see that video. You want to hear more about cold calling and about sending out email blasts. And we spend more time on sending out email blasts. You want to go back, check out that show on email blast. Yesterday, we talked about networking. We talked about trade show networking. We talked about local joining clubs and organizations networking. We talked about networking online on Zoom and other ways in this COVID environment, but I think that method is going to continue on post-COVID. Today, we're going to talk about the kind of lead gen that you probably think of when I say lead gen, and that is the kinds you either pay for or that takes a lot of time and energy. If this is the kind of content that you like it. If this is the kind of content you'd like to see more of, subscribe and set up a notify so that you'll hear about the next show. Lead gen of the kind that most of us are primed to think about is where you're spending money on Facebook, or you're spending money on Google, or you're spending money on YouTube, or you're spending money on LinkedIn in order to get folks to call you, or to fill out a form, or to email you, or to make some small purchase. Most folks think of these kinds of activities when they think of lead gen. Every single one of those things are valuable methods for lead gen, and all of them have a free version as well. We're going to talk today about the free versions. I'm going to suggest to you that the number one method is YouTube videos of this kind of approach. Videos are the future. Everything is going to video. There's going to be more and more video all the time. And you're going to be able to use your video in multiple ways for lead generation. Create videos of any length, under a minute or even under 30 seconds. You can use these for Facebook, you can use them for Instagram, you can use them for Twitter, you can use them for YouTube, you can use them for LinkedIn. What you do is you create the video. The video needs to be really fun content or really good content. It could be branding. It could be about you. You could be doing interviews, like you'll see me doing interviews, or you could be a talking head like I am right now, a talking head. These are all great methods. You could be product demonstrating. You could be service demonstrating. There's a lot of ways to do that YouTube video. But once you create the YouTube video, when you put it up on YouTube, you want to keyword it. The title needs to not only be interesting and exciting and alluring and making people want to come see it, but you need to make sure there's keywords in that title, because that's how it's going to get found, okay? In your description, you're going to want more keywords. And then, just like this video, you're going to want to make sure that you transcribe it and that you create subtitles so that people can read it even when they're in the office and they don't want to turn the sound on, okay? Now, once you've created your video that's ready to be uploaded to YouTube, it's now in the format called MP4. You upload it to YouTube, you do all the stuff you're supposed to do to make it work on YouTube. Now you can take that same MP4, you can upload it what they call natively, or as a native MP4, to Facebook, to LinkedIn, to Twitter, to Instagram, all these different, even onto your own website. It is better to upload these as native MP4s in all these locations, because they don't want your YouTube link. They're not going to give it as much authority. They're not going to send it out to as many of your fans as they are when it's native. They want native content, okay? So that's YouTube video. I'm not going to spend tons of time on YouTube video. I'm just going to say, getting information out about your products, your services, your company, branding yourself as well as talking about specific things that are going to be helpful or useful to your client on YouTube is by far going to be the best internet method, if you will, of getting prospects. Always remember to have a call to action, something that they can do to get in touch with you. All right, now let's go on to the second one. The second one is going to be dependent upon whether you are business to consumer or business to business. If you're business to consumer, you're probably going to want to use Facebook. Facebook is going to be the place where your Facebook business page is going to be your best opportunity to talk to consumers. It is not an easy prospect. It's not easy to get a presence on Facebook. And it also depends a lot on whether your product or services tend to be fan related. If you are selling products that don't have fans, it's even harder to build a fan base, if you will. But if you're, if you're selling, baseball gloves or something where there's fans of that particular glove, or then there's going to be an easier potential for you to generate a large following on Facebook. That's on the free side. We're not going to talk about the paid side today. We're going to put the paid side of all this tomorrow. There's a paid side to each of the things I'm talking about. So if you're business consumer, check out some of the many opportunities. Look it up. How to build my Facebook page. How to generate leads using Facebook. The free aspect of it. It's all over the internet. I'm not going to go into the details here. On LinkedIn, if you're business to business, LinkedIn's going to be a better resource. You can use LinkedIn for business to consumer also. Lots of mortgage people and real estate people and other consumer-based companies are definitely using LinkedIn effectively. But for your business to business, you're going to have a much better chance on LinkedIn than on Facebook. So what are you going to do on LinkedIn? You're going to pay the $79 a month and get Business Navigator. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you're going to take 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day to build your network. You want to have 1,000 at least, and eventually 5,000 or 10,000 or even more people that are connected to you. So how are you going to build those connections? Well, you want them to be as specific as possible that they are potential prospects or power partners. So that's what you're going to start looking for. You're going to start with the people you know. Start with your customer list. Start with your prospect list. Start with people that used to do business with you and no longer do business with you. Start with people that you know are prospects in the neighborhood or the country that you want to do business with. Start with power partners that you're aware of and ask to connect. Only about 1/3 of the people that you send out a connection request to are going to connect the first time. But the amazing thing is, if you send out a personal note with that request to connect, the numbers are going to be much higher than if you don't. You can just push the connect button. It goes out, and they might connect. But if you take I forget how many words you got there, maybe 20 words, 25 words. If you take the time to write a personal note for each of those potential connections, just say, hey, remember we met at, that business meeting 2 years ago, I noticed that we were both in the same class at UCLA. Whatever it is, you want to connect with them somehow that makes it personal, and then say, I'd love to connect with you so that maybe we'll have some things in common in the future. If all it is that you want to sell them, you're not going to say, oh yeah, I'd like to connect with you so I can sell you later. No, but you're going to want to say, we have a lot in common. We're in the same industry. I'd love to connect with you. And who knows what might come out of that. So send it out personally. You're going to get about 1/3, maybe 40% that are going to connect with you. As they connect, you're going to build your connection base, and that's going to make a bunch of other people available to connect to you as well. Some people that don't connect, that you really want them to connect, you can use LinkedIn or just go through normal channels, but LinkedIn makes it pretty easy. you can go to somebody you're already connected to and say, hey, I would really love to be connected to George over here, but so far he hasn't connected with me. Would you mind if I drop your name, if we could, get him connected as a result of our connection? So you can do that kind of thing. You can build your base that way. So once you're on LinkedIn and you're starting to build that base, now you want to put up posts and you want to put them up frequently. And quite frankly, whether it's LinkedIn or whether it's Facebook, when you're posting, only about 15, 20% of the folks who follow you are going to see that post. I'm sorry, are even going to be offered the opportunity to see the post. And some people don't go on every day. And of course, the posts go away. So I usually will repost exactly the same material if it's any good, if it's any quality. I'm going to repost it frequently. I'm going to repost some stuff once a month. I'm going to repost some stuff every couple of weeks. I've seen people reposting the same thing every day for a month. There's lots of techniques like that, but that really helps with your content creation. You don't have to create as much content if you're reusing it. And believe me, you do want to reuse your content. Okay, so that's LinkedIn and Facebook. You're building connections, then you're doing posts. It's exactly the same way with Instagram. A little different technique with Instagram in terms of hashtags. And I'm going to admit to you right now, if I don't know, I'm not going to tell you I know. If you want to really build what you're doing on Instagram, go on and look for how do I build my following on Instagram on Google, and find some experts that can help you do that. But it's not that far different. And the posting is also kind of the same. High quality posts, video posts are always better. Slideshow posts are better than our video slideshow posts, which are quite easy to make, are substantially better than just static ads, or posts that don't move. Anything that moves is always going to be better. And we call these, you want something to stop the person. You want, as they're going through their feed, you want the scroll stoppers. You want them to stop in their tracks. What can you say? What can you do quickly to get them to not scroll past you? So YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn are going to be your primary methods for networking online, for prospecting online, for creating lead gen online. And the free methods are generally going to create lots and lots and lots of activity. It's going to take time. Believe me, actually huge amounts of time, but it doesn't go away. This is building for the future. If you get 100 new connections a month on LinkedIn, that's 1,200 a year. In 5 years, it's 6,000. So, maybe you're going to go a little faster than that. You want to get 300 a month or 400 a month. By the way, you could also get in the sandbox. You can get put in Facebook jail or LinkedIn jail if you try to build your connections too quickly. So there are, generally speaking, I'm going to say you're all right with 25 or 30 a day going out and trying to make 25 or 30 connections a day, especially if all of those connections are really people that you know or know of. Once you start moving past those folks to people that are quite a bit more remote to you, again, should be okay at 25 to 30, but don't be sending out 100 a day to folks that you have no connection with. You can also go into the groups, the group rooms. Go into the groups that have something in common with you. If you're a local realtor, go into a local real estate group, but you're not going to be able to go in there and just prospect. You're going to go in there, and like any group, you're going to make friends. You're going to actively participate in the group, and then over time, the relationships will build. Check out the group that you're going into, see how much activity is going on. If they've got one person a day talking in that group, it's not going to be worth your time. So, but groups are a great way, and Facebook groups used to be outstanding. I understand they're getting less effective now, or a lot of them are. And now the LinkedIn groups seem to be where a lot of the activity and the action is. So we've talked so far about a bunch of different ways to get to lead gen. The one last thing we haven't talked about is paid lead generation using some of these platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn. Tomorrow, you know what? I'm going to put that off. I'm not going to get to the paid part yet. I'm going to have a couple of guests. It's probably going to be a week or so, but I'm going to have a couple of guests. One of them in particular on Facebook lead generation is worth the wait. Watch for that one. And if you don't want to just remember it, then hit the notify button and the subscribe button. And of course, if you like the content, please hit that as well. We're going to switch subjects tomorrow. I haven't even decided what that's going to be. Come back tomorrow. This is Randy Kirk at Small Business Daily. Love talking to you.